All right, welcome to the Creation to Cash Flow podcast. I get so giddy and excited every time I'm starting these. I think everyone could feel it through the headphones or speakers or whatever. What do I usually say next? On this podcast, we discuss strategies to maximize your creativity and help you achieve financial freedom. How are you doing on this lovely Wednesday, Michelle?
I'm good. I can't complain. I am grateful to be here, to be alive, to be doing this podcast with you. Everything's good. How are you?
I'm so great. This is episode 76. Life is good. Been getting a lot of sun on me. Been building some really cool stuff behind the scenes for things that we can't pronounce or announce
Announce.
just yet.
Hopefully we
we
can
can't we
pronounce
can
what
we
we're
can pronounce
doing.
them. We can't announce them yet. All right, let's get right into it because I think we're on a bit more of a time crunch today. Today we're talking about how to have good luck.
It's such a funny topic.
Yeah, but it's true, and it's going to be a really helpful strategy for our listeners. What is luck, Michelle? What is it?
To me, it's just what you make it, but I know that there's a better definition out there. Oh my gosh, how do you even define it? How would you define it?
I don't know. I was hoping you had something. I think it's some bullshit, to be honest. I don't think it exists. I think it's just a mindset,
Mm.
and I think it's just what you notice around you in life. Because I know plenty of people that swear they have the worst luck, and it just seems like bad things are always happening to them. But realistically, everyone's life is hard. Some people have very, very difficult lives, and they're just always in this attitude of abundance and gratitude. Some people have fantastic lives, but they're still just in this like spiral of negativity. So I think luck is because either way, like shit's gonna happen to you. You're gonna get a flat tire sometimes, you're gonna get fired, you're going to stub your toe on the coffee table, you're going to break your leg. Shit's going to happen in life. That would be quite a day if that all
That
happened in
would
one
be a
day.
lot, but it
But these things happen, right? These things happen to people, and it's just what you notice and what you make of it. Because if these things are going to happen anyway, what good is it going to do you to swear that you have the worst luck?
Yeah, it's crazy because I've seen, being 30 years old, I've seen a lot of different people grow into who they are and become who they are. And I have 9 siblings. Like, I have a lot of people that I've seen the behind the scenes and not just the social media journey. So it's insane how everything that happens to you, maybe it's not the exact situation, but it happens to everyone else. Everyone has things happen. Everyone has things that they go through almost daily. I mean, yeah, sometimes there are more tragedies that happen, and that's a season of life, but every single person, including myself, breaks bones, spills coffee, breaks things, has last minute clients pull out, has contracts that change, has all these things happen, but I feel like I'm so lucky. Like, I truly believe that. And it's cool because I see people, I mean, maybe this isn't cool, but it's interesting, I should say, that I can see people go through the same things. And some people, it is like they're just getting more things thrown at them, and then they're just more sour and bitter. And then the same things happen to others, and they're just more positive. And it's almost like they press into their abundance on purpose with intentionality. And that's the difference. That is the difference. It's all what you make of it, like you just said. It's all perspective. What is happening to you is a neutral thing. You can decide whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing. Obviously, there are certain things that are, I mean, innately bad, but you can always turn it to something good. You can always choose to have a good perspective of it. And it's insane how simple it is. It's so simple to just see the good or see the bad. It's easier to see the bad. Trust me. It's easier to talk about the bad. It's easier to complain. It's easier to do all of the things that are negative because it's more interesting. But oh my gosh, if you can learn the skill of not doing that, it is beautiful. I mean, me and Nick both see the good. We both have this like gift of being a little bit too positive in some people's eyes. Silver lining, we find it. But look at where we are, and it's like we want more people to be in this place.
Yeah, and when she says like where we are too, like in our state of mind, like it has nothing to do with money. at all. Like it's state of mind. Like look at where we are like we get so excited to just like record this podcast and to just have conversations and inspire other people. And like you said, Michelle, like it is just perspective. You know, like all these people that claim to have bad luck that I know, they think it happens because they deserve it. And then you miss all of the lessons in the bad things that happen to you because bad things are going to happen to you anyway. But if you have this abundance mindset and you're thinking about how when something bad happens to you, it's because something good is around the corner or because there was a lesson that needed to help shape you into who you're becoming, then all of a sudden, when bad things happen to you, they're just opportunities for growth. They're just challenges that you have to overcome. And you don't just become this like sour, bitter shell of a person. And I'm not saying anyone who thinks they have bad luck is a sour, bitter shell of a person. That's not what I'm saying. But if you can change your perspective on this and start saying that you have good luck, I promise you will start to notice it. For example, Michelle, I've been doing this all the time. This is totally a page out of Michelle's book. I was sitting with my friend the other night on my porch and a black cat walked by and I was like, "Oh my god, that's good luck." And he was like, "Black cats are bad luck." And I was like, "Oh, maybe for you." But like that's Michelle's thing and I've just heard her say it so many times that I've started to implement it and I've been having good luck ever since I saw that fucking cat.
Isn't it crazy? It's crazy. People are like, "Don't break a mirror, 7 years of bad luck. Don't step on a crack. Don't do all these things. Don't walk under a ladder." If the thing is, Nick, we're so powerful as people, as human beings, we are powerful. If you think that life is just happening to you and that life is deciding what your path is and what your perspective is, like you're going to be miserable. But if you're like, okay, cool, that's a saying. I don't care. I'm not accepting that. I'm not agreeing with that. I'm going to say it's good luck and I'm going to believe it. And it is. I'm telling you, I've broken so many mirrors and I have the best luck because I choose that. And it's so insane how so many people were just trained to not think that. And I love that you used that analogy. I love that you told your friend that. How did he respond?
We had a nice little conversation about it. I forget exactly what he said, um, but it was something to the tune of like, "That actually is a great way." Like he was like, "That's a great way to look at things." And I was like, "Luck is just what you make of it." And we kind of wrapped up there. We didn't have like a podcast level conversation about it, but he definitely took a minute and was like, "Yeah, that's a it's a good way to look at it."
It's so interesting that we can choose how to look at things. And I think that it does take training in the beginning if you're just used to looking at things that are bad. Like when people come to LA and all they see is homelessness or graffiti on buildings or like trash. And then I'm over here like, oh my gosh, look how beautiful the sky is. Oh, look at that art. Like somebody like took time to make that beautiful piece of art. Oh, look at that broken thing under the bridge. It's like a dresser. I wonder what its story is. I wonder if a homeless person's using it for like shelter. And other people are like, that's trash. This place is disgusting. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how beautiful. Like, that's so cool. Like, I just find it so interesting. And it's so crazy because two people could be experiencing the same thing, but have completely different just perspectives and feelings and emotions about it. And I think it's just up to us to decide what we want. What do we want to see? Do we want that negativity? Some people actually crave that. That's like an addiction for them to complain, to watch the news, to be in fear. And if that is you, I'm not saying you're a bad person. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm just saying if you don't want that, there is a way to change it. You just have to reframe your perspective, change some habits, and then you can start to unlearn some of those things that you're just so used to doing.
Yeah, you can program yourself to believe that you're lucky. You can program luck. And the best way to do it is I mean, I would say grab a piece of paper, as stupid as this sounds, write down "I am so lucky" 10 times and just like do that for a week and read it as you're writing it and you will just start to program that part of your brain that we've talked about before. It's called the reticular activating system. It's the part of your brain that notices things and decides whether it's worth bringing to your awareness or not. So like when you're driving and there's cars passing you, like let's say you're driving on a two-lane street. So you're on the right side if you live in the US and the other cars are coming in the other lane. Cars are going by you constantly and like you see them but you don't actually notice them. Like if out of the blue me and Michelle were driving together and we just passed 20 cars and she was like name one of those cars that passed, I wouldn't be able to because I didn't notice them. But if one of those cars swerves into my lane a little bit, your brain sends off this signal of like, oh my God, we got to bring this to your conscious mind. And then if Michelle asked me a minute later and she was like, hey, what color was that car? And what kind of car was it that like almost hit us? And I'd be like, oh my God, it was that red Mustang. Like they swerved right into our lane. And sorry if you drive a red Mustang and I've now stereotyped you. But the point being, the part of your brain that brings things to awareness can be trained. It's called your reticular activating system, and you can train it to notice things. It's also the same when you buy a new car. Like when I first bought my truck, I have a GMC Canyon. I absolutely love it. I now see GMC Canyons everywhere. It feels like everyone has one. But before I had that car, my reticular activating system did not associate value or danger to it, so they were already everywhere. I did not start a trend where everyone saw mine and was like, I gotta go buy one of those too. Everyone already had them. It's not new. But now my brain sees it, and you can train yourself, you can train that part of your brain. You already have, actually, is the tough part. You've either trained it to see the luck and the good things around you or all the bullshit and the badness around you. And you can change this and it will change your life.
Yeah, and that is also a reminder of how important it is to be aware of what you are putting in your head, whether it's a podcast, music, what you're watching, the people you're following on social media, whatever it is, it's kind of reaffirming your thought process and your mindset. And so if you need to detox, detox. Like I detoxed for, I think it was like 3 years. Like I didn't listen to any music that was like ratchet. I mean, I love it now. I do love me some some like music like that, like Doja Cat. But I took 3 years, no alcohol, no music like that. Like I had to literally retrain every part of my being, all my negativity, and I just read, listened to podcasts. I dug into my inner self, my personal growth because I was like I'm not where I want to be. This person that I am, I need to fix it. Not that there was something that needed to be fixed, but I knew my power as a human and I was like I need to change. What can I change? What can I do differently that I'm not currently doing that's going to get me one step closer to where I want to be, where I'm doing a podcast someday. Like what? Like, I still can't believe we have a podcast. That's crazy. But these things are so simple, but it's like I used to wake up and watch Netflix to get ready for work. And then I took 3 years off of watching TV. Like, I didn't watch TV, Nick. Like, that's crazy to me that I didn't watch that, but I couldn't, like, I didn't wanna have anything going in my head that wasn't aligning with where I wanted to be, who I wanted to be, and what mindset I wanted to have every day.
This is so funny because you brought up um you just like unlocked a very funny memory for me of like also, I mean, one, in college I would do the same thing. I was way too cool for anyone and anything and I would listen to like Kodak Black constantly and I'm just putting like the worst vibes and messages into my brain. But even still I was starting to reprogram myself. One of my roommates in college, his name's Tim, hopefully he listens to this. One of my best friends still, and I used to live with him. He would come into my room all the time without knocking, which is certainly a dangerous game to play. But one time he came into my room and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Nothing." And like my TV was off. I wasn't on my phone. I was just sitting in my bed, like sitting up, actually doing nothing. And he was like, "Yeah, but you're actually doing like nothing right now." He was like, "Why are you doing that?" He was like, "Why don't you turn on the TV or something?" I was like, "I don't want to watch TV. Like, what do I don't need to like fill my brain with bullshit just because I'm bored." It's like the power is up here, man. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking about it all. And he was like, "I'm gonna go."
Wow. Okay, I love that.
I never watch TV. Like I have a TV in my bedroom always, and I never really use it unless I'm if I'm like with my girlfriend, I think it's a little bit different, and we're just like just putting it on so that there's something on. But like I don't sleep with the TV on, and I never am just like, oh, I'm bored, I should go put the TV on. Absolutely never happens. Absolutely never. I will reach for a book, my guitar, I will go write something. And sometimes, by the way, I'm not a perfect person. Sometimes I'll just scroll on TikTok. Like I'm human. That happens too, but I make sure that I'm really careful about what I put in my brain. Is it things that are going to lift me up, like a podcast, or am I going to just watch destructive reality TV?
Right. Yeah, the TV thing changed me. Like, having that detox, having that time to myself, having the time to yourself, just sitting there in silence, letting you think what your thoughts are, being aware of what your thoughts are. There's nothing more powerful than that. Like, that's just amazing. Like, my dog, he can't do, if I move, he's watching me. Like, he has nothing else to do but watch me because he doesn't have what we have as humans. Like, we're so blessed to be able to have these thoughts and these perspectives and like contemplate things and decide things. His whole life is me. Like, I literally can't go anywhere without him staring at me and like getting up. And so think of that as like such a blessing, such an opportunity for you to become more self-aware and in tune with your thoughts and your mind and your goals and what you want. And then know that like sitting in silence is way more powerful than turning on something that is just to drown out the noise. Like, you don't want to put things in your head that are drowning out your thoughts, especially when you're going through something. I did have to start watching TV again this year because I'm back in acting school, and a lot of what we do is based on like thinking about, oh, well, this show did this, this actor did this. So I have been enjoying bringing that back into my life, but it's really hard for me to just sit and watch TV. Like, I prefer to put on YouTube, I watch YouTube on my 83-inch TV all the time. And it's just interesting because they're like people. So I kind of feel like I'm learning, but it's not trashy stuff. It's not always just to drown out my life. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of us are stressed, especially if you're super stressed and you're revenge bedtime procrastinating or something like that, and you're just trying to get out of your own world. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, how often are you doing that because you're avoiding your true feelings and a growth opportunity within yourself?
I love that because it's not like we're telling people you can't ever watch TV or YouTube. It's just being mindful about what you watch and how often you watch it. And I try to think of it kind of like the episode we did with Jose, where I was asking Jose, like, what do you think about like weed? Like about like smoking weed? And he was like, honestly, it's a plant medicine. It's not the worst thing in the world. But he was like, you gotta ask yourself, are you using it to tap in or tap out? And I do the same thing with TV. Like I know most people I know watch a ton of TV and they use it to tap out. Like if you come home from a long day of work and you need to sit down on the couch and watch TV, like that you're tapping out. But like if I'm if I'm I don't know, if it's the end of the night and I've got my blue light glasses on and I want to watch an episode of Naked and Afraid because I had a great day and I'm proud of myself and I'm doing it to like tap into like, okay, like I want something that's going to entertain me a little bit. I'm going to watch 30 minutes of this and then turn it off and get some rest. Like that's different. You know, like are you tapping in or tapping out? Like am I watching a golf thing on YouTube that's going to make me a better golfer? Or are you just watching like Jersey Shore reruns, you know, that are like, okay, are these really like, are these really adding value? Are they hilarious? And is it one of my favorite shows? Of course, absolutely. But I know it doesn't actually add value to me. So I don't let it control me. And that's what I do with luck too. Like I don't let bad luck control me. I let good luck guide me.
That's a good quote.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
You do. We need to like have like graphics with your little nuggets of wisdom on them.
Those are actually in the works. Surprise, surprise.
I agree, and I think that when it comes to luck, it is what you make it. I mean, it's just so it's that simple. It's not something that is happening to you, it's happening for you to grow, to learn, to see a different perspective, to share that. Like, I I'm actually so grateful that I break things all the time and I make mistakes because I get to post about those. And it makes it feel more real because that is real. People easily could look at my life and be like, everything's perfect. Everything. She's in a penthouse. La, la, la. Like, I don't even want to list off all the things. People think that and they say that, and it makes me cringe because I'm like, no, 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 no. Let me share the behind the scenes. Let me share the unesthetic. Let me share like all the coffee I just spilled because I do not want anyone to compare themselves. And I know I can't control that, but I'm grateful for these moments. I almost see it as good luck whenever these things happen when I'm filming because I'm like, yes, I get to show a little bit more of humanity and the reality. Like, I want these things to happen. And I see it as a good luck, not as like, oh crap, I had to refilm because of this. Like, no, like, haha, now I'm being real. I'm being human. I'm having more connections. Like, it's all good luck. Even breaking my foot on my freaking headboard when I was filming, like, good luck, whatever, it happens. All these things that happen. I know I've talked about this a lot in other episodes as well, but just it, if you tell yourself it's good luck, it will be. If you tell yourself it's bad luck, it will be.
What do you think about this? Right place at the right time. Is there some luck in that?
I mean, I think that we're all in the right place at the right time, mostly. I mean, I know free will exists, but I think talent and preparation is everything. And so if you're setting yourself up, then you will be in the right place at the right time. But can you expand a little bit? Like, what's an example? What are you referring to?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said what I am gonna say too. That like, I'm trying to be like devil's advocate to like, what are people gonna be like? Yeah, but sometimes there's luck. Like sometimes you got to be in the right place at the right time. But I don't think that's true either because, like you said, if you tell yourself you have good luck and you tell yourself that there are opportunities all around you, you will always be in the right place at the right time. But if you tell yourself that nothing good ever happens to you and like you never just like stumble upon the right thing, I promise those opportunities are there in front of you, but your reticular activating system in your brain is not going to make you aware of them. Like when you hear someone next to you chit-chatting about social media and you've been like trying to get into content creation and they're talking about how they need someone brand new to do like a social media takeover for them, your brain might hear it, but it's not going to bring it to your awareness. Just like all the GMC canyons that I used to see, they were there, but my brain didn't like signal the alarm bells, be like, "Hey Nick, that's your truck. How cool." So, I mean, yeah, I totally agree with your answer. Like, we're always in the right place at the right time if we tell ourselves that we're lucky and that there's opportunity around us. And that is how to have good luck. You have to start telling yourself that you have good luck. You're always in the right place at the right time. And the confirmation bias in your brain will make it so. Just like if you tell yourself you have shit luck and nothing good ever happens to you, the confirmation bias in your brain will make sure that nothing good ever happens to you.
It's insane. And I think that it's like one step at a time too. When you're reframing or just like being more aware of this perspective, take it one step at a time. I know Nick and I both discussed how we know we're going to win card games. Like we just know we are. And it's almost like we're like, no, we're winners, even though we both played one in San Diego and lost, but it's fine. It's fine. Didn't I beat you at pool though? Anyway, so but it's this thing, it's like, what are you telling yourself? And some good indicators, if you're like, okay, on the scale, like, where am I? If you're somebody that like drops something and you're like, oh, of course that happened. Or if something bad happens and you're like, oh, yeah, of course, like, oh, I'm not surprised. That might be an indication that you need to probably unlearn some things or just kind of retrain your brain to not think that way. Cause that is leading into you thinking bad things happen to you or that it's common that these things happen to you. But if you're like we got an email about something for a business opportunity, I was like, "Oh yeah, of course that came our way." Like out of the blue because that's just what happens to us. That's just what happens. We're blessed in that way. And it's call it luck, call it whatever you want, but it's like the more you start doing these things with the littlest things, more will come your way. That's also true for bad luck. If you start focusing and believing something, it's going to happen more. You're going to attract more of it. So keep thinking that you have good luck. Be delusional enough to tell yourself you do. Think about all the good things that have happened to you. Choose to focus on them. Choose to not make the bad things that are quote unquote bad to society be bad luck. Just be like, no, that's just something that happened. Here's how I'm going to reframe it and make it something that's actually good luck.
It's so funny because I'm so delusionally like positive in that way that when you were like, Didn't I beat you in pool? In my head, I'm like, "No, you didn't beat me in pool. I made a mistake and I scratched on the 8 ball, and then I beat you the next time." And, like, my brain immediately turns to, like, "No, no, no, there's no negativity about to you're not about to do that to me." Like, it's all positivity. It's all always positivity and luck and personal responsibility too. Like, I didn't, like, deflect and in my brain, I wasn't like, no, 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 like I lost because the table was tilted because it was
It was.
the table was tilted. But in my brain, I'm like, no, 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 like I made a mistake. I scratched on the 8 ball. Personal responsibility, right? I don't blame my environment. I take accountability. And then I'm like, but I learned from it and I and I beat you the time after. Just for the listeners, just so they know.
Oh my god, and we get to talk about it right now too. That's another good thing that happened and came from that.
Yes. I think karma works the same way as all of this. Like, karma is about as real as luck, where, like, if you do good things to others, you will just notice when good things happen to you. And I think it works the same.
Oh my god, you just reminded me of something. Also, if you've ever heard of the saying, "You reap what you sow," that is a literal, like, BC times. Like, that's, like, such a common saying. This is kind of similar. So, I've been putting off getting a VA. I've been putting off posting the job thing. It is literally the bane of my existence to, like, get into that mindset, to have to, like, I don't know, it just drives me crazy to have to think about doing all that. But I did it. I finally did it because of Nick. Nick helped me. Nick has helped me every step of the way. I still haven't found my person and hired them officially, but we're one step closer. And I I finally did it. And last night our best friends were over. One of my guy friends said something about an assistant and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have a website. Oh my gosh, I can help you." I got his thing posted. He went to bed with like 20 applicants. He woke up with 25 other applicants and he's going to get an assistant and I'm like, "If I would have never done what Nick was trying to help me do and like went through with this and I was like, "No, I'm doing this because I can help someone else." Like literally that's how I do things in life. I'm like, if this can help someone else, I'm going to do it. And so I was like, "Oh, maybe one day we can help people like hire their first VA, whatever." Literally that night, I was able to help somebody. And I'm like, wow. So I was putting this off when in reality, I was also putting off helping others. So whenever you think you have good luck, you're also going to be able to help others. I bring that all back to say, like, I don't know if good luck has anything to do with the assistant thing, but it's like, if you tell yourself, if this works for you, because I know it works for me, if you tell yourself, I'm going to have this perspective because it's going to positively impact those around me, then I'm going to go through the suffering that it feels like whenever you're trying to reframe your brain and your perspective, like I had to with hiring somebody and going through the admin stuff. Like that was really hard for me, but I reframed it to where I'm like, this is a great opportunity. I'm so blessed to have the money to be able to hire somebody else, like an additional employee. And it's like, wow, I was immediately, karma was like, thank you for doing this. You're able to help them. You're going to help your business, help others. And now you're helping a best friend. So it's all tied. Like, everything you do is tied and connected, and it's all based on your own decisions and your actions every day. So, also, thank you, Nick. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy to help you with that. And what a good story too, just about how it all works and how the opportunities are right there in front of you. Because if you were this like closed-minded, bad luck person, and your friend was like, "Oh, I really need to hire an assistant," you would be like, "Pff, "Me too," but like it's impossible.
Yeah.
Like there's no one good out there." Then he would be like, "Oh, damn! Like if Michelle says there's no one good out there, like maybe there's not. Maybe I don't even want to do that." And like you could have been bringing everyone else in the room down, but instead, like you see the good around you, and you were like, wow, like actually I'm in the middle of doing that right now. I could show you exactly how. I've got a ton of applicants and it's nice to think about the alternative, like scenarios where it's like I could have been like stick in the mud, like bad luck Brian, or I can be like the good luck person.
Like, good luck.
Who's Brian?
Who?
I almost said good luck Grace and I was like I don't think we need bad luck Brian and good luck Grace to be characters on this podcast, so I called it quits with that. But I think everyone gets the point. Take a moment to think about a time where recently maybe you were like that bad luck Brian a little bit, or think about another time where you decided to be good luck Grace and it was beneficial to those people around you. Because even if they don't call you out on it, like if you said that and you were like, oh, there's no good assistance, like I've tried everything, your friend would not have been like, Michelle is a fucking Debbie Downer. Like, oh my God. He would have just taken that at its face value. He would have been like, guess there is no one good out there. All right. And you don't even realize how much you bring down the people around you with your negativity and your bad luck. So if you start to be good luck grace, life gets better for everyone around you.
Wow. That is such a good thing to bring up because it's also like, who are you to the people around you? And also, who's around you that might be tapping into your decision making subconsciously? Like, you might not even know. It is so easy to just believe your best friends and your family. I mean, I get it. Like, the leader makes the decisions, and who you are, I say that meaning like who you respect. So if you respect your best friends, you're going to hear them out, but it's that could be so dangerous because they have such an amazing business and I want them to grow and they're growing like crazy and they have plans for family and all these things and I'm like, wow, if I would have said that there's no good assistance, like I would be prolonging their growth and success. And that's a huge responsibility that I do not want on my shoulders. Like, obviously, I'm not in charge of anyone else, but like, that's such a powerful way to look at it, Nick. And whoa, that's just, I always want to be the friend that like uplifts and encourages and doesn't bring others down. It's literally your legacy in your life and what you do every day. And man, we have such an opportunity to like be a light and be positive and help others grow just by our simple words that we're saying every day.
It's so true. It's those little things that you do that truly add up, and like just letting people know that you appreciate them and just being a light in their life. You will have good karma. You will see all the good happening around you, and I promise things will fall into place. Which, by the way, if that is happening right now to you and you're looking for an opportunity, you're like, how can I spread a little of this positivity? Go share some love to our podcast page. Like wherever you're listening, go leave a good review and that 5-star rating because we have so many listeners and we know you guys are loving this because you keep coming back and listening. But the amount of 5-star ratings we have is weak. It's super weak, and we do this podcast for you guys. So start spreading that positivity. Change your luck right now. Show some love to us, and we promise we'll get it back to you because the higher we rank, the better our views get and the better the guests we can bring on become. Speaking of which, I think we're bringing Jose back next week. Not 100% sure, but he'll be back soon. So if you guys are looking for that chance, like change your luck right now, start spreading some love and some positivity and share it back to us because we do this for you guys. We don't run any ads. This is podcast number 76. We've never run an ad. We've never asked you guys for anything but to share some love back. So go ahead and do it. That goes such a long way. Michelle, anything else to add on this episode about luck? I don't think so either. I think we could definitely go a lot deeper on this one if we had to, but we'll just leave you guys in this state of like, wow, the things around me are what I make of them. So your homework assignment is share some love to us and go spread positivity and good luck and remind yourself how lucky you are. Because if you're able to listen to this podcast, you're lucky.
Literally, you have a phone or a computer or something, some type of device that you get to hear knowledge. You're so lucky.
Yeah. And we're lucky to have you as listeners. So share some of that love with us. Give us that 5-star rating or that nice review. It really does help us. And we love you guys. Thanks for listening.